We are back, we are back, we are back. You are listening to Soul Perspectives here on CKUT 90.3 FM. My name is King Dominique-Ferguson. I'm in studios with,
Renee Jordan.
and all the way from Hawaii joining us, we have Anthony Hyland, a man who strives for greatness by telling his story through poetry, does motivational speaking, he educates young minds, and the list goes on. Anthony,
Absolutely.
so before the break, we were talking a little bit about, um, going through abuse and also how to pick yourself up out of this, and COVID-19 has kind of created a situation where a lot of people are going through mental health issues. It has been exacerbated. The quarantine has exacerbated certain people's situations. Some people, it's given them
Indeed.
space to breathe. How do you, or how would you suggest that people motivate themselves, or how do you motivate yourself in this kind of situation, knowing that there's a lot of people that may need that extra oomph, so to speak?
I think I meditate now more than I've ever meditated before. Uh, Self reflecting and just sitting down and just being still. I think we do so much moving on such a consistent basis that we forget to just be still, to be present in the moment. Um, One thing that I realized with my social media and empowering others, that it can become very draining, especially when you're so used to just pouring into people, pouring into people, pouring into people, that we forget about self care. Getting a haircut, getting your hair done, getting your feet done, taking a bath, literally just enjoying being comfortable in your own skin. And I think with us being locked in and quarantined and things of that nature, some people are spending more time with family members than they've ever spent before. I know for myself, being in the military, being on a ship and then coming all the way to Hawaii and being on, what's called shore duty, I'm spending a lot more time with my family, a lot more time with my kids, a lot more time with my wife, to whereby I don't have to go out to sea, or I don't have to go to work at, 4 in the morning and get off at 10 at night, and then have to get up and do it all over again, to whereby, I leave, my children are asleep. I go to get off work, my children are asleep again.
Yeah.
I would say the main thing is take care of self.
Mm.
Take care of self and understand that it's okay to be selfish in taking care of self. And in that regard, most oftentimes it comes from people who are so used to pouring into other people's lives. Now, the other side to that also is do something kind for someone.
Mm.
If you
Yeah.
see someone in need, if there's somewhere you can volunteer, or, of course, adhere to, guidance and mandates and things of that nature. But if there's some way that you can give back, for me, my giving back has been helping single mothers, or helping members of the LGBTQIA plus community into transitional homes by getting them resources. Domestic violence is something that I'm a huge advocate for. Pushing individuals who might have been through a situation toward resources. Again, I think we do so much give, and we're giving away so much of ourselves that we forget to reserve. We forget to reserve some of that energy for ourselves. We
Yeah.
forget to reflect on our own experiences and be present in the now. One of the things that I told my wife as I continued to grow my social media platforms is that I didn't want to become what I call a YouTube family. And
Right.
she's like, well, why not? I think it would be really cool if, we, hopped over on YouTube and did content. I said, because from what I've seen, social media can do one or two things. Either it can make you or it can break you.
Yep.
And in terms of your mental health, especially considering the pandemic, a lot of us have turned to social media. So whereby once the pandemic is lifted, there are people who are still going to be on social media that have allowed themselves and have built massive platforms, to whereby now utilizing that, what I don't want to do is every moment that my children have or that my wife has, I'm pulling out a camera trying to record. Oh, this will make for great content for the YouTube channel. If I'm at, a soccer game or a basketball game or a chess tournament or a debate,
You're
with my
living
son or
through
with my
the
daughter.
you're living through the machine instead of living in the moment. You don't want to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're focused on content creation instead of being present in the moment.
Yeah.
You know, when I go to sporting events, the amount of people that have their phones out recording, in my mind, I'm thinking, you're paying all of this money. Don't get me wrong. It's nothing wrong with recording, but to spend your entire experience recording and not taking in the atmosphere, taking in the atmosphere of those around you, you know, taking in the atmosphere of the field, something as small as the smell of the grass, you know, being fully present in the moment. That sometimes
holding your popcorn and having that hot dog instead of looking at that small screen while you have the full view in front of you.
Oh, indeed. Again, full heavy proponent or advocate for understanding and appreciating the small things. Something as simple as walking out of your front door because you've been inside all day and just breathing fresh air.
Yeah.
Walking on the grass and just being one with the universe. To some people, it's like, oh my gosh, that sounds so crazy. It is one of the most liberating feelings one could ever have. You know, the beach, the beautiful part about Hawaii is that it's beaches everywhere, you know, and literally 5-minute walk from my house, I'm right on the beach, you know, and I'm blessed in that regard to where I can literally just walk out and just listen to the waves crashing. And, you know, I love jazz music, so I'll listen to saxophone. I like the saxophone, so I'll listen to saxophone instrumentals and just literally just allow myself to just free flow through thought, you know, to not think about being a father, being a husband, being a service member, being a motivational speaker. Well, I consider myself an empowerment speaker, but being an artist, you know, being this social media guy, just being me, being Anthony, you know, and we get caught up in our titles. For those of you that have jobs where you have a specific title, whether you're a doctor, whether you're manager, whether you're superintendent of, just strip all of that away and just understand and appreciate me. Just be one with me. No worry, no care, and say, you know what? I'm going to take a certain amount of time. I tell my wife this too. We have to specifically block out a certain amount of time. My former pastor used to say, stay on your twos. And it would essentially be like a 2-minute prayer somewhere throughout the day. For me, I say the Serenity Prayer. Lord, help me, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference. So whenever I see myself graduating to a higher level of frustration, I'll repeatedly say that prayer to myself to calm my spirit. And it's almost the same as my meditations. Literally just being one with myself to say, you know what, honey, I just need 5 minutes. You know, or my wife being a single mother, me having all of this time. I'm sorry, not just I said a single mother, stay at home mom. Yeah, that was weird. I was like, my wife being a single mother. Wait a minute, that don't sound right. A stay at home mother, even just saying, you know what, give me the kids. When I come home, I'm gonna take my newborn. I'm gonna take my other two. We're gonna come to the man cave, which is my garage, and you know, just allow her to be in the house and just walk through the house without hearing, mommy, 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 mommy. You know, to do the simple things like drink a glass of water without someone, mommy, 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 mommy. You know, so whereby she can revitalize and re-energize herself because she knows that once I go to work, we don't have any help. You know what I mean? It's just her and the kids. Yeah. You know, so when I come home, I do my part. So for those of you that have spouses, for those of you that have children, for those of you that are co-parenting, you know, take that burden off of your mate. You know, take that burden off of your spouse. More specifically, men, I'm stepping on y'all toes right now. You know what I'm saying? Take them children. I do. Before the pandemic, when I was over in my other duty station in Virginia, I used to do what I call Fatherhood Fridays, where I would literally just go on Google Maps. I would literally just flip the map down, stop it on a specific point. Well, me and the kids taking a road trip. All right, honey, you do your thing in the house. You know, we taking a road trip, or, you know, I'm going to go take them to go get something to eat, or I'm going to take them to the playground or something like that, and literally just give her a few hours to herself. Yeah. You know, young ladies, y'all not safe either. And even to my older, more seasoned women, y'all not safe either. I'm about to step on y'all toes too. Let that man see them cheering, you know, and let him take the cheering, you know, so you can get that time to yourself. You know, you ain't got to be up under him all the time. You know, take that time for you. And most oftentimes it's easy for us as men to say that because, you know, they, you know, put it, mama's baby, daddy's maybe. No, absolutely not. It's both y'all kid. You know what I mean? You should share that, you know, Take care of them. The children are what matter. For those of you that are co-parenting, get on the same page, so that those children are not suffering as a result of whatever the relationship was, in that regard. And for those of you that don't have children, for those of you that may be, like you said, that get granted those nieces and nephews, ensure that you're pouring into them. Yeah. Ensure that you're encouraging them and motivating them to go to the next level, whether that be education, whether that be sports, or whatever the case may be. And if you have none of those proponents whatsoever, you just say, you know what, I'm just out here doing me. I'm just living my blessed life. Well, you understand that it's okay for you to live your blessed life. It's okay for you to do you, and understand that there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. And seek that self-care and motivate and encourage, and make sure you're making those self-reflections.
Yeah. We are coming down to the end of the evening. Please let people know you have an album, you have a book, and you have your social media platform. Let people know where to get them, how to get in touch with you. What is up?
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you all for this opportunity. My book is entitled The Purpose of Power. It's available on Amazon. My album, a little bit about my book, just a little snapshot. It's an autobiographical sketch of my life. I feel like I have not lived long enough to write an autobiography, so I wrote an autobiographical sketch. And most people, oh my gosh, what is that? I took specific experiences that I had throughout my life, and I talked about them. Then I talked about the lesson that I learned as a result of that to understand and uncover the purpose of my own power. My album is entitled Metaphorically Speaking, and it's a play off the metaphor of metaphorically speaking, essentially in terms of making a statement, but also my spoken word, metaphorically speaking. And that's available on all streaming platforms: Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Google, YouTube Music, Amazon, all of those streaming platforms. My social medias, you can find me on Instagram, Anthony I. Hyland. That's Hyland. You can find me on Twitter, same handle, Anthony I. Hyland. And then my biggest platform, which is my TikTok, I Speak 1906. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for having me and listening to little old me. And just make sure y'all taking care of yourselves.
I got one request before you go. You have something that you normally say when you start your videos, and I would like you to say that thing. I would like you to say you are listening to CKUT, and then your thing that you normally say to close off the show.
You are listening to CKT Radio. Buckle up. Let's talk about it.
Thank you so much, Anthony Hyland. It's been a pleasure to have you here. We are out of time for the evening. My name is Dominique-Ferguson. I've been in studios with
Renee Jordan.
And tune in again next week, Tuesday evening from 7 to 8:30 p.m. We'll have another guest to speak with you about what's going on with them. Keep it locked. You are listening to CKUT 90.3 FM.